How's it going? What are you up to?
Good. I just left my brother's baby reveal party, and he's going to have a baby boy, which is great because I've got one daughter and another one going to be born in a couple weeks. So I got the girls and he's got the boy.
Are you having daughters because of your hormone use?
I'm told it's more of punishment for my lifestyle, but it could be one or the
other. I've heard that it makes the Y chromosome seed not work as good.
Really? So because I'm on so much steroids for so many years, I'm gonna have girls.
Yeah. You know, I have all sisters too, and I've told my parents that I've psychologically knocked out my X chromosome sperm. I only shoot Ys.
Oh yeah. Well, I could, you can actually choose the sex of your child. You can have them spin the sperm and separate the male sperm from the female sperm and use those to implant into the egg for in vitro.
That is insane.
That's something I can do if I choose that it's that important for me to have a boy someday.
They put it into a centrifuge?
Something like that. Yeah, there's some way to be able to separate them. And I think it's one weighs more than another, something like that. Some way they can separate them.
Yeah, so you've been in Sacramento, but you're heading to the Philippines next week.
Yeah, I got my baby mama version 2.0 is gonna give birth.
Yeah,
and we know it's a girl, and the baby's growing fast, so it's gonna probably be early. It's either early or maybe she got pregnant earlier than she told me she got pregnant, which might have been before I was with her. So we'll see. We'll do a genetic test.
I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any problems with that.
Yeah, you know her because you know she's pretty faithful, and she never left my side.
I was there with you when you were the whole time.
Yeah. Hey, actually, you're one of the reasons why I chose her to be baby mama version 2.0, because you said, hey, this one's a keeper. This girl is cool. She's hot. She's down for your lifestyle. Man, you should keep this one. And I didn't. And so far, it's been a great decision. So thank you for that.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, because you have to. When it comes to girls, you have to get a second opinion, because you can fall in love and you can lose sight of some of the logical decision making, and so your friends can help give some of the logical insight, and you did that, so there it was.
Well, I'm just glad that you're at a point in your life, probably because you're over 35, because most people are not going to be able to take criticism on their girlfriend or the girl they like. I mean, that is a sign of maturity right there.
yeah, that's right. I'm sure plenty of people will someday say, you're actually, girls say, Dan, I don't know if I make just the disclaimer is I'm coming down off mushrooms right now. It's actually like more challenging to be on camera, but I'm pushing through as part of my personal development. But if I say something that doesn't make sense, that's my alibi, my handicap.
Yeah, well, your eyes are covered with the sunglasses, so we can't tell if you're under the influence. No, you look normal.
Yeah, they didn't really dilate. My eyes got really watery, like really glossy. But I used THC vaporizer also with it, and it gave me sort of that couch lock. Is that what you call it, couch lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it before the gym as an experiment, and I just wanted to sit on the machine and listen to the music and stare at the wall. So I don't think it's an effective pre-workout, but it was an interesting experience. Actually, the thing I noticed most about it was I'm doing the exercises, and in some ways it feels like the first time I ever did those exercises, even though those same exercises do. But I was noticing like my position of my body I'm usually very aware of, but I was hyper aware of it. I was hyper aware of the feeling and the position and how the joint was moving. And so I think it's actually good for a bodybuilder who's been working out a really long time, if they do mushrooms, or anybody that's been doing any activity for a long time and takes the process for granted. You do that, and it's like experiencing it again for the first time.
I've had that same experience with the mushrooms. When I experimented with them a little bit, it would be when I would do something that I had already done before, that like automatic part, like say I go for a walk around the block, and it's navigation is usually automatic. I don't have to think about where to go. Well, with that in my system, I would need to be actively navigating, very conscious of turn left here, turn left here. I couldn't just walk and end up where I was gonna be.
Yep, same experience. And I think it's a great experience. I think people should experience that more often, you know, in a safe environment. I think it's very mentally stimulating and helps you get totally different perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. I would say it's a different perspective, and it makes you realize, especially how much natural brain chemicals are affecting how you think and how you behave. It makes you think like, whoa, this is all chemicals going on in here. And some of the feelings that I have that are negative, that I don't want anymore, those are not real. They're just chemicals, and it gives you a new sense of control.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting that from the mushrooms?
Yeah. But before I forget, the kratom. Since you are my kratom guide master, also, the kratom plus the coffee, that's been a combination that we like so much because it gives you the stimulation with the relaxation, which ends up making euphoria. But I felt like there was something missing, and then I added back in a heaping teaspoon of cocoa powder, and it amplified the euphoria more again, with the same type of euphoria I had when you and I were in Philippines and we were taking it before the workout every day. Like, those are the most euphoric times I ever felt on it, and I haven't really had that level of euphoria since. But I got closer to it when I added the cocoa back in, because back then I was buying like chocolate milk and whatever had chocolate in it, I would try to add that into the mixture. I think that's another amplifying component, synergistic.
Okay. Are you talking because of the phytoalkaloids that are in the cocoa?
Yeah, it must be, because I asked another friend who knows a lot about kratom, and he said, well, maybe because you're doing the kratom on an empty stomach and you're not taking it with any fats, and it's a fat soluble. The alkaloids are fat soluble. So, and I said, well, that's possible, but I think it's more that cocoa has its own alkaloids, and coffee has its own, and kratom has its own, and something about the three work together very well. Not all alkaloids work together well. Like yohimbine works very poorly with some other alkaloids. It amplifies the side effects of it. But in this situation, these all seem to amplify the benefits and not amplify the side effects with the coffee, kratom, and the cocoa.
Yeah, it's interesting because all three of those plants come from the same family. They're all genetically related.
Oh, yes.
That's the first. This is the first time I've heard somebody combining cocoa with kratom, but I'm gonna try it now.
Yeah, if you try it so that you really get the experience, heaping teaspoon. Take a lot. Cocoa's not going to hurt you. It tastes good. It's healthy for you. It's got epicatechin in it, which is a myostatin inhibitor. Probably the most powerful natural myostatin inhibitor that we've discovered yet. So yeah, up that cocoa.
Wow. How much percentage of myostatin inhibition?
So like the enhanced athlete has epimuscle, which is epicatechin, and it's like 250 milligrams of epicatechin per pill or something, I think.
Yeah.
And I think like one pill would be the equivalent of like a large heaping tablespoon of cocoa. So you could actually just use a large heaping teaspoon of dark chocolate cocoa with no sugar or additives 3 times a day and actually get a significant amount of epicatechin from it. But that's pure cocoa. If you were to take let's say the chocolate bars over the counter, like a milk chocolate, doesn't actually have very much cocoa powder in it. So you're never going to get from a milk chocolate sugar bar, you're never going to get a significant amount of myostatin inhibiting. But from dark chocolate cocoa, or if you eat a lot of dark chocolate cocoa bars, that might add up to something.
Yeah. So this time with the Philippines, you're going to Manila, right?
Yeah.
Have you hung out there before? I've spent about a total of 4 to 6 weeks in Manila, and it's not my favorite place.
No, I hung out in two main places in Manila. I've done the Makati downtown thing for the red light district,
Yeah.
for partying. Did not like that. I
Didn't.
mean, it was good. I'm
Yeah.
glad I experienced it, but it was way overpriced. It was too salesy, and it wasn't. It was kind of dirty still too. Like you'd expect it was kind of.
Homeless children everywhere.
Yeah, you'd expect that it was kind of dirty like that. It'd be cheaper, but it's like kind of dirty and expensive. It's like the worst of both. Versus Angeles, like, yeah, it's a little dirty, but it's also super cheap and everybody's awesome. And I don't feel it's very salesy. So then the other part of Manila that I spent time in before, a couple times, because I've been there maybe four times, but short trips, was by the ocean, just north of the airport in the City of Dreams area, the giant new area.
Oh yeah.
Where the big malls are and everything's kind of more spread out. All of America is there. And
Yeah.
I at first I didn't like that because everything was spread apart. And one of the things you and I like about Asia is you can walk to everything, but there you kind of needed to drive to everything. But they had one of my favorite massage places there. They had that buffet massage where you just go and eat the buffet, get a massage. It's called Wenshaw, WENSHAW. And for really cheap, you just spend the whole day getting massages and eating. Like, the only thing is women. So that
I think you're going through an area with no reception right now.
Kind of thing, and it's got live, so it should be good quality.
Okay, I think you're back now. You cut out for a minute there. I think driving under those bridges.
Okay. Yeah. If you couldn't hear me, I was saying this time I'm gonna stay in the wealthy area, where like the business people and the actresses, and where there's some very, very nice gyms. People think of Manila or Philippines being a third world country, but the area that I'm staying in supposedly is going to be like kind of like a high society American style part of the city.
Is it BGC, for example, Global City?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was super high class. It was almost like driving into that part of Manila was a different country than the whole rest of it.
Yeah, it's what it looks like from the map. From the map, it looks like, I mean, not quite Singapore, but, that type of really clean. The buildings look really nice. Yeah. It's good.
Cool. Yeah. You'll enjoy that. I think that's more your style. What island is Jenny from? I forgot.
Well, I think it's just her family is originally from her family was originally from the same island as Manila, I think, but like way up north maybe. But then they moved to kind of Mindanao, where all the terrorists are at, because I think the dad was in the military fighting against the terrorists.
Okay.
And then, so she's got some military family, and then they kind of spread out. But the funny thing about these Filipinos is, like, I'll ask her, like, do you have family around you? She's like, no. And then the next day she's like, oh, my cousin this, my cousin that. Like, they have so many cousins. Like, they might not have a lot of brothers and sisters near them, but these Filipinos, like, she must have 100 cousins, which is dangerous. Americans don't realize. You think you see a Filipino person, and you think, you might disrespect them or something. You don't realize that, it's kind of like a gang situation. You mess with one of these people that has 100 cousins, and now you're starting a war with 100 people. So,
that's also
just
where
a good lesson for people who don't know that about other countries in the world.
That's where all their money goes too, because a lot of Filipino residents in the Philippines have difficulties managing their finances, and those hundreds of cousins, it gets spread out through them. They're very giving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, one of them marries or hooks up with a wealthy American guy, and then pretty soon he's funding all 100 cousins. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I think you mentioned to me several months ago that you had to limit your basically your fund for Jenny went from like 1,000 a month to or something to like $200 every couple week or something. What was it like? You had to really reduce it.
My initial intent was to send her one payment per month as
Yeah.
her, in exchange for raising my child and to pay for all of her family's expenses. And it's really cheap. It was only, to support her entire family is only $450 a month, let's say. But the
Okay.
problem is, if you send her $450, she'll spend it within 5 days.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
if you send her if you send her $10,000, she'll spend it within 5 days. If you send her $50, she'll make it last 5 days. So you have to send money every 5 days, and so small increments.
So
$80
that's what you
every 5 days.
you settled on every 5 days.
Yeah, that's pretty much the cycle of Filipino. That's like as far as they can
Yeah,
think forward is 5 days in the future.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. When are you heading
Yeah.
out?
I mean, yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Oh,
2 weeks.
okay. So you're gonna
Yeah.
be here then in Sacramento, or you're gonna be in Sacramento for another couple weeks.
Yeah, for 2 weeks I'll be in Sac. Yeah.
And you're training at the Super Training Gym with Mark and Chris Bell. Am I right?
That's right. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do it as much as I thought because it's really tearing down my joints, tendons, my ligaments. My elbows are both destroyed. My shoulders are destroyed, and it's just because I'm really strong and I haven't lifted heavy like this, and so I'm able to jump in and push my body further than it should probably. But I
Uh-huh.
also didn't want to hold back and make too slow a progress. But I also am holding back from making even faster progress. For example, we go do bench press. I do 365 3 times. I felt like I could do 365 6 times.
Uh-huh.
But I help. But they say no. You stop at 3. This is one of the big lessons of powerlifting that I learned. They're very controlled. Doesn't matter if you can do more. It's all charted. It's all scientific based on your rep max and what your goals are. And every week they change the rep range. They start at high reps, and every week they lower the reps through this strength cycle, and then they end with a run rep max. So you're not allowed or supposed to like make big jumps up in weights, or because then if you lose the consistency, then you could fall off the program completely. This way, it's trackable. For sure you're going to put on 20 pounds on your bench press or 25 pounds on your bench press without injury over a 6-week period. It's like a formula.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I jump in kind of in the middle of this thing, and I haven't, I'm just they're trying to gauge what I should be lifting and how fast I should be growing. But because I kind of jumped in the middle, it was kind of hard on my body. So I'll
Are you
keep
only
going back
bench
there,
pressing,
but I
or
need
are
to
you
take bigger
doing?
breaks.
Are you only bench pressing, or are you doing deadlift and squat as well?
I've done 1 squat workout and 3 bench press workouts with them so far. I haven't
Okay.
done a squat workout yet, and I plan to soon.
Deadlift or squat?
I did the deadlift workout. I have not done the squat workout.
Okay. That'll be probably pretty killer. I think the squat workout, if you're feeling the joints on the bench press, oh my God, wait till that squat workout.
Yeah, my knees. So what I did today is I just went to the regular bodybuilding gym, not the powerlifting gym, and I just went really high reps. And it felt good as a change, and it felt really good on my joints and tendons, and I think it's actually going to help them heal faster. Like they feel better afterwards.
So what's the environment over there training though? Is it pretty hardcore? Does it amp you up a lot training with those guys? Like how much
Yes.
mental activation is it giving you to push yourself to be with them?
You're up. you know, and everybody's looking at you, and it's like, oh, I'm up. It's like, holy cow, here we go. Go, breathe, breathe, breathe. Get under the bar, 1, and then they say 2, 3. They lift it off, and you're like, come on, Jordan, that's that way. You know, it's a lot of energy.
Oh, cool. That sounds like a team. It sounds like a team environment.
It's totally a team environment, and I enjoy this team environment so much that I'm trying to incorporate it into bodybuilding workouts. So, like today, I worked out by myself because I wanted to do the mushroom experiment and document that with the workout. But like yesterday, I worked out with a group of people, and we all take turns on the machine, and we're all helping each other. And I feel like I have a better workout, and I have a lot more fun doing it. So I'm gonna try to incorporate more of the team workout.
Awesome. Yeah, I would like that. I really like that idea because it sounds like you guys all have your like 6 people standing around the bench press, and when one guy gets up, it's the next guy's turn. When one guy gets up, it's the next guy's turn. There's no standing around or something. That's the picture I'm getting in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it keeps a good pace, good momentum, and you're all giving each other energy, assistance, keeping each other on track, and it's fantastic. And especially like, you know, even women, like even at the power training gym, there's women training too, and it's inspiring because the women train hard, and they're inspiring the men, and men are inspiring the women. Yeah, it's a lot of synergy.
Yeah, that's a good intensity producer because if a woman is training with intensity, I am not going to train like a bee.
That's right. That's right.
All right, man. I'm gonna get headed out. It was good talking to you, and I'll hit you up again before you leave the Philippines.
Okay, awesome, Dan. Good talking to you.
All right.
All right, bye.